Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great morning and great week so far. And welcome to this new video here on Hedera. I wanted to do a quick update here because we have reached the level we talked about in the last video, which I think was only 2 days ago. But that also, I mean, we're at a pretty critical level here for Hedera. And so far, the reaction has not been that great. And that's also why I wanted to make, well, maybe I'll call the video something like an urgent Hedera update. Because it is quite urgent. Because what we talked about in the last video is that Hedera looks quite good. We had some beautiful reclaims right here with decent volume, especially over the course of, well, the second half of last week. We're able to reclaim this level right here. And then the most important zone that we got back in was between 15.8, which you can see is respected as supports quite a bit right here. And then the main resistance level was right here around 17.5. The resistance we respected, but now it was time to test that support. And we have not been able to get that much of a strong reaction. I mean, yesterday we had some strong selling coming in across the markets. Now that came from some external factors with the stock markets also pulling back slightly. And Bitcoin obviously pulling back here and getting some bearish clearances. However, then what happens is that when Hedera reached that main support level here, I think on the 1 hour time frame, look, we did find some support, so it's like confirmed as an intraday support level as well. However, we never got any volume. I mean, you can see that it's very small down here, but the volume basically overnight during the Asian session was not great. And that's not good. All right, you want volume to come in when a support level is hit. And even though initially that was still the case yesterday evening, after that certainly was not the case anymore. And we do need to hold this level. Otherwise, unfortunately, we're most likely going to drop down into our next support zone, which would again be right here between 14 and 15 cents, where I would lean, especially when you expect Bitcoin to drop down lower into 82 into 81,000, I would lean towards 14.2 to hit as main support. So the question is well, is it already done? Is this the breakdown? And I think the answer is no. Today, I think today, first of all, getting a fake out like this very often leads to the biggest move up. The thing is that we need to reclaim that level right here between 15.85 cents, so that's 0.158 or 1585, and 16 cents. And we need to reclaim that, all right? And something needs to happen today, which allows Hedera to be strong enough, because there aren't really any fundamentals right now pushing Hedera up independently. But something has to happen that's strong enough to push us above that. And I do think we have that, or at least I do think we have those possibilities with either the speech by Jerome Powell, which is later this evening, or just in general with recovery from the stock markets. So something like that has to happen for us to be able to reclaim that. For now, I still think it's a possibility. However, if I would have to say, all right, well, this is what I think is most likely, or at least this is what I think you need to take into account, I would still take the conservative or risk-off approach and assume that this is a real breakdown. All right, so assume that we're not going to get any strength from anything today. And if that doesn't happen, the breakdown will hold. All right, and we might get a spike into this fair value gap right here at 16 and 16.2, but ultimately then we will drop down. So I am going to leave. I'm going to end this video by saying that I think this is most likely. Would I short Hedera? No. But just given the direction of Bitcoin right now, in combination with the lack of strength we've seen so far from the market and Hedera, I would say this is best to take, or it's best to assume that this is going to happen. And I think at this point of time, it's also most likely technically. But those are my thoughts. I think that's what you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.